the vast majority of the long list of problems that I just sort of read out of, this doesn't feel done, this doesn't feel done, this doesn't feel done. I have absolute faith that they will nail that. They will get it over the next month or two. They'll get that sorted. The two things I'll add on here, in addition to the Planet Tech, the other thing that is sort of an issue that has been, highlighted very well by Black Maze and others is the lighting issue. Some people like it, some people don't. Black Maze did 2 videos. The first one also covered the lighting issue and showed side by side, here's the exact same picture that's, the same perspective, the same vehicle, the same everything. Here it is in Horizons, here it is in Odyssey. And I like the darkness of Odyssey on foot, where you're kind of scared running around in the base in the dark. It adds to that sort of, my little flashlight only illuminates this area and anything out there could be coming to get me. I love that on foot in Odyssey. On ships and SRVs, to me, it looks way worse. And I very, very much, we had Astro on and we talked about it a couple weeks ago and said so maybe some people like it and they're like, hey, I want this version. I would very much love it if Frontier were to give us an option to say, do you want for the ship and SRV stuff, not for the on foot. For the on foot, I think it's part of the game mechanic that you have to deal with it being dark and aim your flashlight directly at it in order to see. I think that's whatever. But for the ship and SRV part, do you want it? I think they should give you a toggle. You could have the Horizons lighting mode or the Odyssey lighting mode, because I personally would take the Horizon lighting mode 10 times out of 10. I think it just looked super good. The main thing that worries me isn't any of this. The main thing that worries me, and this is maybe premature and maybe it's a waste and maybe there's nothing to worry about here, but this scares me. They switched over to a game producer who is a pew pew guy. He's an FPS looter shooter guy. That's his background. I feel a little scared that it feels to me that some of the things that we've highlighted in the past months with zero-G stations, people running around in cowboy hats without helmets on airless planets, things like that. The fact that they sort of gutted the salvaging, didn't really have any sort of interesting mechanics to how you remove a component without causing damage, like any kind of a mini game or any kind of a challenge or something that takes skill or thought. The fact that the exploration exobiology entire loop sort of it wasn't a thoughtful, you have to sort of use some skill or thought. It was just sort of a Twitch base. It was basically just a reskin of lockpicking from old, Skyrim or whatever. It's the feeling that they put a lot of effort into the shooter and not so much into the science. That scares me. And I'll be honest with you, I would love to see David Braben come out and say, hey man, we're going to, we needed to put the effort into the shooter because we needed to put that out as a viable product as part of this whole collage, this whole thing that is the overall experience. But now we're going to get to the science. Now we're going to focus on, the biology stuff. We're going to focus on making salvaging and scavenging, make it more interesting and dynamic and more, skill-based or thoughtful, or now we're going to add mineralogy. Now we're going to, focus, just more NASA, less Call of Duty. And that's just me personally. All of the stuff we listed today, I absolutely have faith that they're going to fix it. And I see Osashis in the chat who's saying, yeah, I agree with you on everything except the Planet Tech. I honestly don't think the Planet Tech is bad, Osashis. I think from the Obsidian Ant video, the Planet Tech is good, but there's a server bug and it's only being rendered on like half the planets. I honestly think there's a ton of planets where the Planet Tech isn't being applied properly. And when they fix it, I think it will look way, way better. I hope. We'll see. But I strongly feel like they're going to fix all of the stuff that we talked about. I hope that they also commit and affirm to the science, to the thoughtfulness, to the not everything has to be I shot a guy in the face.